What's up, you guys? It's movie time again, and thanks for tuning in to the Combat 86 radio show. I'm talking about the movie The Shallows. Boy, living out here on the islands, that's not exactly a great movie to go watch if you're a fan of the water, which I'm not. And for the main reason, sharks. I don't like sharks. Watched Jaws at a very young age, one too many times till the VHS tape broke. And yes, I haven't really gone in the water since. You can't help but thinking when something brushes against your leg or whatnot, you're going to get pulled under very dramatically. And yeah, so alright, The Shallows, brand new movie out, starring the lovely Blake Lively. Oh, if that's not a reason enough to go see it already. Okay, so The Shallows, rated PG-13, but I must say I couldn't help but thinking that it may have had an R rating at one point. So there was some things where I felt like they could have showed more. Maybe it's a good thing they didn't, but anyway, Jaws was PG-13. And it showed quite a bit too. Anyway, so the movie is roughly around an hour and 27 minutes. Let's just average it out as about an hour and a half. It gets started right away. Okay, basically, beautiful girl goes to a remote beach, and the beach is so beautiful it makes you start wondering why nobody else is there. But it is beautiful, and it's basically, yeah, there's not many people there, and it's pretty shallow. The bottom has a really rough terrain. It's got full of coral and all kinds of stuff. In fact, they say it's something like the coral there, when it touches you, it's like getting nailed by a jellyfish. Anyway, that's really unnerving right there. So there's these two guys that show up there. They're surfing and having a good time. She's driven to go there because that was the place her mom was, and it's a, has this like sentimental family thing going on. She keeps asking everybody what's the name of the beach is. Nobody will tell her. I personally think it's probably called Shark Death. Anyway, what they explain is there's a little like a reef in the middle of this place that when it comes low tide, it looks like an island, and that's actually what she gets stranded on. Like I said, the movie gets started right away. There's a really horrific scene, I think, when she's catching a wave like this, and you basically see the shark coming right at her through the water, through the wave itself. It's a very that was very scary. You always see those, I've always seen photos, like, mocked up photos like that. I don't know if it, that may have probably actually happened to somebody. In fact, I think it did. It's a very, if you're scared of sharks, this movie is definitely going to rock the boat a little bit more and make you feel like you need a bigger boat. It's, I think over time now, the effects have gotten a whole heck of a lot better. Even though, to me, still, there's something about them actually having a rubber shark or whatever it is in the water. There's still something about that. I wish they could, master that a little bit more, because this one is, it is a more of a CGI, but it's really good though. The CGI effects, if that is indeed what they did with the shark, I believe that's what they did. There's no way. Anyway, but there was some criticisms. I did hear about it before I saw it. One of the things was they CGI'd Blake Lively's face on her while she's surfing the waves and whatnot like that. I did notice it. It did look a little fake to me. If they spent all this money on the shark and everything and making that look good, I wish it would have, made. But long run, what I liked about the movie was Blake Lively. Well, aside from that, it was a good movie because it didn't seem like it was not possible. Even though I still think the bite on her leg, looking at the way things were with the shark and everything, I think the bite on her leg would have killed her. I think that she would have lost a tremendous amount of blood, bleeding out like that. She did do some makeshift surgery with her earrings and try to close it up, but that's not even, the gash is just like her entire thigh. So, so that part, I don't know. She gets stranded overnight. I really do. She did put the wetsuit sleeve over it and everything like that. You do find yourself cheering for her. You are just like, come on, for her to have, if she were to, not make it. I'm sorry, I'm giving away the movie. You should shut it off right now and go watch it if you didn't come back to this video. Anyway, nothing in it was too like, to the point where you're like, come on, are you serious? But it did have a couple moments where you're like, you know, like her leg being, you know, bitten. And one thing for me was when they discover the whale carcass. Okay, now there was two other guys out there doing their thing, and then her. You would have smelt that thing. I'm sorry. I remember out here in the ocean when we had a whale carcass, and you could smell that thing offshore. Okay, so that part was a little like, come on. You know, there just anyway. So good movie. Other than that, it did have its definite. It's a very intense movie from opening to end. It's very intense. Go check it out if you're into, you know, just gripping your chair. I literally, the girl next to me that was sitting down a couple seats over, her legs went up on the chair. And right when the movie started getting going and the shark showed itself, her legs went up on the chair. So if you're going to see it in the theater, check that person next to you. See if they put their legs up on the chair. But anyway, The Shallows, I think it was a really good movie. They did do a really well job. I heard the ratings actually, it got better ratings than the Independence Day movie. Go figure. And this movie, The Shallows, had a much lower budget by sure. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Combat 86 Radio Show. That's movie time. The Shallows. Dun 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 dun.